Hey everybody, welcome back to my kitchen. Today I'm super excited to share with you one of my favorite dessert pastries, which is a Baklava Strudel. I know it's hard to imagine me an eater, but I love my pastries, I love my sweets. One of my favorite things is baklava and strudel. Let's face it, so many Germans can't be wrong. So here's the thing. I'm going to show you how to do it really quickly and easily, something that only looks like it takes forever to make, and that way you can get on with your life. First things first with this recipe, like in the baklava, we're going to need a syrup. We're going to need the nut filling, which is the walnuts and the almonds and the cinnamon and all that goodness. What I'm going to do is, for the strudel part, I'm going to add the puff pastry as well as a light cream cheese kind of filling inside. It's going to make it absolutely fantastic. So we're going to start with our syrup, but before we do that, first things first, as always, preheat your oven 375 degrees Fahrenheit or about 180 degrees Celsius. Get that off and going, and that way we don't have to worry about it then. For our syrup, it is very similar to what we glaze the regular baklava with, which is half a cup of honey will go into our pot here, or our saucepan. I'm also going to take half a cup of water and put it in there. I'm going to take 1 cup of sugar, and I'm going to place this in my pan as well. Along with the sugar, I'm going to take 1 cinnamon stick and 3 little cloves. And all we're going to do for this is bring this up to a boil and then simmer it for about 10 to 15 minutes. The next thing we want to do now is our cheese or our cream cheese filling. And for this, I'm going to use 250 grams packs of cream cheese are going to go in there. And again, for the love of Pete, be kind to yourself. Let the cream cheese be at room temperature for at least like a few hours, or pop it in the microwave for like a minute. So in goes our 2 bricks of our cream cheese. I've got half a cup of icing sugar that's going to go into this. So now it's been a few minutes, 3 or 4 minutes. Let me just take this down. At this point, what I want to do is add my vanilla, and I've got some really good vanilla extract. I'm going to put about a teaspoon of the vanilla extract in there. And I'm going to use this opportunity now to just scrape the sides of my bowl here to make sure all my cream cheese and everything that's in here with the sugar is evenly mixed up. There's nothing worse than getting it all messed up and you got clumps of unmixed stuff in your bowl. Not good. Here comes the main part of our recipe, which is the puff pastry part. Now, I don't know about you guys, but for me, I don't make my own puff pastry. It's actually easier to just buy it. If you can make your own puff pastry, you have a great life. But having said that, if you can, why not? I'm going to put this like this in my pan. 2 things I'm going to tell you. The first thing is put your puff pastry in the pan you're working at from the start. Don't kind of work with it like we're going to do and then move it. If you try and move it, it's going to come out terrible. Believe me when I tell you, I speak from experience. You have to work relatively quickly with this, but also having said that, you got to work smart. So what I'm doing here is I've already placed my parchment paper under my pan here, and I'm just going to line it up where I want my puff pastry to go. And what I'm going to use is actually a pizza cutting wheel. And all I'm going to do is very carefully cut my puff pastry exactly where I want it to be, or positioned on my sheet. There. Nothing to this. And this is how I'm going to do it. Inverted, upside down. Perfect. Nothing to this at all. So now I have my puff paste. Oh, I got a little tear there, but not a big deal. I'm just going to patch that up. Perfect. So now I have my working surface. This really is not complicated at all. That was tip number 1. Tip number 2. To make your life easier when you're working and you're making a strudel, you're going to have to cut this in terms of strips along each side on the long side. So what I like to do is take your, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm using almond, the tip of the almond. I'm going to divide my puff pastry into thirds. Just like that, more or less. I'm going to take now in 1-inch slices, and I'm going to cut from the center out strips. Nothing complicated, about 1 inch, give or take. See where I'm going with this? The trick is to make sure that you got the same amount of strips on both sides. And this does not have to be perfect, believe me when I tell you. So now we have our strudel here all ready to go in terms of laid out. That's fantastic. Next, take our mixer here and this beautiful, luscious cream cheese goodness that's here. This is like, I love this. This is absolutely one of my favorite things. What you're going to do now, carefully, is take this and just apply it in the middle of your puff pastry. Now this looks like really good. Let me get my spreader here and I'll start. Get my spreader and I'll start. And what you do is you're going to just start easily and very carefully just flatten it out. And oh, you got to watch out that your parchment paper doesn't start sliding on you all over the place. And just start spread it like this. And if I said it once, I said it like a million times, my friends. I'm no baker, pâtisseur, whatever you want to call this. But if I can do this, you can do this too. And I like to go a little generous on this. It's my thing. Now, what I'm going to use next is my little mini meat processor. And for this, I'm using 2 cups of walnuts are going to go in here, just like that. So what I'm going to do now with my walnuts is I'm going to take about 1/3 of my walnuts and I'm going to place them back into my original cup here, and I'm going to put this back on here. I'm going to take 1 cup of almonds, put them in here, and cut them up as well. Now, as we're grinding down our almond and our walnut mixture, I'm going to take 1/2 tablespoon of ground cinnamon and I'm going to place it in my ground walnut mixture and continue pureeing or pulsating that through, so that way the almonds and the walnuts and the cinnamon get all incorporated. Yeah, this is perfect. So now what I'm going to do, you can kind of put this on freehand, or I'm just going to carefully just place this mixture over my cream cheese. See where I'm going with this? You're going to take each one of these and fold them over. Just like that. Ooh, scary stuff, right? Nothing to this at all. And you continue on, folding these over until you've folded the whole thing. next part of this, I'm going to take 1 egg, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to beat up this egg, and I'm going to brush the top of my strudel with a little bit of this egg and water mixture. Perfect. Just like that. You don't need much at all. And this will give us a nice shine and a nice sheen to our strudel here as well. Strudel. I say it like my German friends. There we go. And along with this, I'm going to take a little bit of my nut crumble here and just put it over this. So it's going to look absolutely beautiful before we bake this off. Now, my friends, this is ready to go into our oven. Like we said, 375 degrees for about 25 to 35 minutes, give or take. Keep an eye on it. Once it's done, you'll know because it'll be that beautiful golden brown color. Ta-da! All right, and there's our strudel, our baklava strudel, It's all ready to go. It's done absolutely perfectly. It's wow. All right, now lastly is the fun part, which is the glaze that we've been working on before. So what I'm going to do here, very, very carefully, is lift this puppy out without breaking it. Look at that. Look at that. Next thing is our syrup. And this is something as well. It's tightened up nicely, so it's going to get a little, drizzle a little spoon here. This is like nectar, baby, nectar. Take this and just start drizzling it all over. Man, cue the porn music. Oh, this is fantastic. Look at that. Just don't be afraid to get it all over, your cutting board. This is all part and parcel of our presentation. This is going to be so freaking awesome. Get it in the nooks and crannies too there. What the hell? Perfect. Absolutely perfect. I know it's right out of the oven. I know it's hot. Yada, yada, yada. But get myself a little knife. I just want to try cutting into this. Look how this is. Look how beautiful that is in there. So let me cut into this. Dip it in that syrup. That's the one right there. Baklava, strudel, whole lot of goodness. Absolutely fantastic. I can't tell you how good this is. You have to try this. I am telling you, you have to try this and prepare to go crazy. Holy crap, that's good. It is tender, flaky. The puff pastry, the cream cheese isn't overly sweet. We didn't overdo it on the cream cheese filling inside. Not too cinnamony. For those of you I know, you're sensitive to cinnamon. You don't like a lot of cinnamon. This is not overly cinnamony. This is absolutely perfect. My friends, please try this. It's so easy to make, it's not difficult, and you know what? It's absolutely delicious. So until next time, I thank you very much for watching. I'm Ken. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. And let's all meet again in my kitchen. Bye for now.